Hello again, class. Today we are going to talk about rounding money. This may seem a little backwards because today we're talking about rounding money and tomorrow we're just talking about rounding. But that's okay. We are going to be experts at rounding money by the end of this video. So to start off our little rounding lesson, I would like to teach you a rounding rhyme. It goes like this. Underline the digit, look next door. If it's 5 or higher, add 1 more. If it's 4 or lower, just ignore. Okay? I'm going to say it one more time, and then you see if you can say it with me after that. Okay? This time, just me. Underline the digit, look next door. If it's 5 or higher, add 1 more. If it's 4 or lower, just ignore. Okay, now you say it with me this time. Underline the digit, look next door. If it's 5 or higher, add 1 more. If it's 4 or lower, just ignore. Okay? Okay, so now we're going to use our rhyme that we just learned to round this amount of money. So is $5.70 closer to $5 or $6? So when we use our rhyme and it says underline the digit, that means whatever place you're supposed to be rounding, underline that. So I asked you to round to the nearest dollar, which means we need to underline dollars. Underline the digit, look next door. If it's 5 or higher, add 1 more. If it's 4 or lower, just ignore. So which one is it? 5 or higher or 4 or lower? 5 or higher. Right, 7 is higher than 5, which means we need to add 1 more. Not add 1 more to 7, we need to add 1 more to what we underlined, which means that if we round $5.70, we actually get $6. Now what do we do with these numbers? After you round, you need to make the rest of the numbers into zeros. So our rounded number is $6 with no cents. Let's try it again. What if I also asked you this time to round to the nearest dollar? That means we need to underline the dollar part. So we underlined the digit, look next door. If it's 5 or higher, add 1 more. If it's 4 or lower, just ignore. And this 2 falls in the category of 4 or lower. So that means we're going to ignore it. That means that we are just going to leave the underlined number as it is. We're not going to change it. Just ignore means we're not going to change the dollar. But we are going to change the 2 numbers after it. When you round, you need to change the following numbers to zeros. That's the same whether you go higher or stay the same. In this problem, again, we're going to round to the nearest dollar. So that's the digit that we need to underline. Underline the digit, look next door. If it's 5 or higher, add 1 more. But it's not 5 or higher. If it's 4 or lower, which it is, just ignore. Now remember, ignore means we're going to leave the underlined number the same and change the rest to zeros. What if in this problem I asked you to round to the nearest $10? You know that the tens place is just to the left of the ones place. Here's the ones place, so here's the tens place, which means that's the digit we are going to underline. So here we go. Underline the digit, look next door. If it's 5 or higher, add 1 more. Nope, not 5 or higher. If it's 4 or lower, just ignore. And it is 4 or lower, so we're going to ignore, which means we keep the underlined number the same and make all the rest of the numbers zeros, even the 3. So when we round to the nearest $10 for this one, we round to $20. Again, in this problem, I'm going to ask you to round to the nearest $10. So we underline the digit, look next door. If it's 5 or higher, add 1 more. It is 5 or higher this time. So we are going to add 1 more to the number that we underlined, making it a 4. Now still, just like the other ones, everything after the underlined number becomes 0. But notice I still have my decimal place in the same spot. Okay, one more before we start our homework. And again, we're going to round to the nearest $10. So underline the number, look next door. If it's 5 or higher, add 1 more. But it's not. If it's 4 or lower, just ignore. It is 4 or lower. So we're going to leave our underlined number the same. And then we're going to make the rest of the numbers into zeros. As you do your homework, be sure to remember to recite this rhyme to yourself while you're rounding. Also, make sure you read the directions because sometimes they want you to round to the nearest dollar, and other times they want you to round to the nearest $10. So make sure you check that before you do your problem. Good luck!